Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the Sunshine community. Today, the fate of a lot of players is going to be decided. But first of all, we're going to have Dex versus Deathline. It is a game free. It is going to be a really, really interesting match. Both players have shown the will and the strength to take the series, but only one of them, after this game, will advance in the bracket. My name is Elias. Today with me in the commentary box is Golden Devil.
Hey there.
Right, so game free scenario. This is where you have to have the clutch. This is where you have to be able to execute in the moment of need. This is going to be the moment where you have to showcase what you're made of. Any predictions just off the bat? No logic, no thinking. Who do you think has this?
I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say I was pulling a little bit for Deathline, but I think I would say Dex is maybe slightly favored, and that's only because Dex just has a little bit of a speed advantage. I think having watched yesterday during the draft match, I didn't see the row control with Deathline won pretty handily, but I think in the draft match, Deathline had a pretty good edge, and then just made some mistakes playing a little safe. I think Deathline is the much more experienced bingo player, but Dex's speed is going to help a little bit.
Right, so it's going to be a matter of what's going to be more reliable in the clutch, right? It's because you can argue for the calls, you can argue for the experience in the routing, because obviously if you have nerves, it's going to be harder to route correctly and make the correct decisions. But you can also make the argument that, hey, speed advantage is always nice to have, especially to have more experience, more ability to execute the game and make less mistakes at a higher speed. Because, hey, the clutch can also ruin your execution, right? So it's gonna be really interesting. I think I'm gonna give the slight edge to Deathline, if anything, just because of the excessive wealth of experience. People ignore how long Deathline's been in the game, honestly. And it's true that they might not be sorry, I cannot speak. They might not be focusing a lot on this now, but he's been playing for years by now. So that's still a lot of games watched, games commentated, games played, people faced, and so it's gonna be really interesting. So, we're still waiting on Deathline to solve some minor problems.
Yeah, and I spoke incorrectly. Deathline actually does have like a 4-second faster any percent time than Dex, so yeah, speed is pretty similar.
I mean,
I think like Deathline yesterday during the draft match was doing really well, and then just made like a couple minor mistakes. And the row control match, I didn't watch it, but Deathline, it looked like a dominating win. Maybe there were just a lot of snipes.
I mean, it's again, it's a case of Dex's speed is kind of taken as a given. Deathline, I think, is more of a sleeper player when it comes to speed, because obviously sometimes definitely just rusty, not having played for a lot, but he definitely has the baseline necessary. I would ask for the feed because I don't think we have any feed now in the commentary room.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
there we go.
I think Rimastina just forgot about us. Rude.
To be fair, getting the players ready is more important because we're about to start off.
All right. Match is underway. Let's look at this card. Let's see what we can find. Okay. So, right off the bat, there looks to be a lot of Noki here on this card, at least compared to the average.
Yeah,
Hmm.
hmm.
You do have Eel, you do have 16 Noki Blues or 5 Gelato, you do have both Goldbirds. So Noki not looking too shabby here. A lot of hiddens on the card as well, so it's gonna be a very roam intensive card. You have 2 Gelato hidden, 1 Bianco hidden, Bianco 4 Overless. So that's gonna be normally you have this kind of conundrum, right? Bianco hidden versus Bianco 4 hoverless. Which one is the better option? And it generally depends on the card. On this card, yeah, you want Bianco hidden. We want the 5 hiddens. I feel like this is the option you definitely want to go for. Doesn't seem to be much merit in going deep in Bianco, right? Also, we have 15 Bianco blues, which is one of the few this is one of the few scenarios I appreciate Bianco in, because it's just there is so much value that you have to pick what you're gonna do, right?
Yeah, there are 4 relatively early Bianco goals here. And I mean, we saw, I forget which match, where someone lost, I think, 3 of the 4. You have to decide, am I going to go for blues? Am I going to go for hidden or hoverless? This is... It's a tough call, I think, because if you make the wrong call, instead of just splitting 2 of them, you could lose 3. You're probably not going to lose all 4, but...
Yeah, the thing is, right, with the players being as is, so very comparable in speed, you don't even have the quote-unquote solace of trying to either say, okay, I'm gonna go for the blues from the slower player, if anything, because, well, just maybe split play with some blues on the way to hidden. Right, you can do some stuff. Just say, okay, I'm gonna cushion and try to get a 2-for-2 trade, which is positive for me. But the thing is, with two players being relatively comparable in speed, you don't even have that to base your decision on, right? It's just, in a way, pure luck.
Yeah, I mean, potentially it could come down to, who gets the better spider in Bianco 2.
For example. But the other thing you can do is to just... Because let's see. Alright, you have 4 goals. Clearly 15 Bianco Blues, 20 Bianco Blues, Bianco 4 Overless. Blues do not look too strong, however, I have to say. You have 70 totals, you have 15 Delfino, you have 45. I don't know, the blue goals are either late, they take time, they don't scream good value on this card to me. Obviously the 15 Bianco and 20 Bianco blue coins combo is very strong.
But yeah, there's not a lot of otherworld blues. So especially 70 is pretty rough on this card to get. And 15 Delfinos is a lot slower than 11, because you've got to do at least a Fruit Lady. 16 Noki Blues is not really a blues total goal. It's a shine progression goal. Get to Noki first.
So my question here is, can you make a Bianco 2-3 hidden pure speed no blues play work with 3 secrets, 8 episodes Gelato Pianta play? Because I see something along those lines working. Obviously you have to go relatively deep in Pianta early on, but you get 4 Pianta shines, you get access for the hidden, you do get the 8 episodes with 2 in Bianco, 1 in Gelato, and 5 in Pianta. You do get 3 secrets, right? Doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing here, obviously, with 8 episodes is this is a really bad Rico card, and Rico is usually a good place for fast episodes.
Exactly. So the good alternative is Pianta here, I feel. Like, it is a great stage on this card. There's a lot of value. We didn't mention it, but there's definitely a lot of value from Pianta on this card.
Yeah, more than usual. I mean, there's no Pianta 100, but there's 4 Pianta shines, Pianta hidden, Pianta Shadow Mario later. Doing 4 quick ones from Pianta early in the game to get to Pinna is not a bad call. I think you've got to go Bianco first to play it.
I am going to unironically suggest 2 hidden shines from 1 level in Pianta here.
probably the best choice on this card, honestly, because there's no reason to do Bianco 6. There's no reason to do Rico 1 through 4. You know, maybe because you don't need the secret. There's no enemies. There's no rockets. You're not going to do Pinna 6 on this card. Yeah, I mean, I think that is definitely where 2 hiddens from 1 level will be done. And honestly, I don't know if you want to go to Gelato before Pianta. Like, I almost think you want to go Bianco, then Pianta.
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, you would have to get. I mean, Delfino Shine is nothing too bad. You can just get Plunderbell maybe to get 2 free reds. But yeah, maybe Bianco 4 if you're making that play stronger because of the 8 episode shines. Then again, you're focusing a lot of on hiddens on this card. I don't know. I like that there's a lot of versatility that you can do things with this card, but I definitely think that if one of the 2 players makes a Pianta play at some point, it's going to be a really important moment of the game. Because I think that there is merit in going to Pianta early in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a lot of merit to going anywhere other than a Bianco Pianta start, which I think is going to be really unfortunate for one of the 2 players here.
I don't know. I can see somebody trying to make a Bianco into Delfino Shines start work.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Pinna, but what's actually the Pinna value on this card? There's Pinna hidden. It does have some reds, but that's...
Yeah, I know it's not particularly great, but you can, I guess, do shine count in a way. You can try to go for a 2 from 5 levels play with 8 Delfino Shines, going for the Delfino Rocket late on, going for the 16 Noki Blue Coins, trying to contest the hiddens with 1 Pinna hidden, the Bianco hidden, and then the Gelato hiddens, right? So, because obviously if you're doing Pianta here, you're forfeiting the hidden shines in Gelato. It's pretty clear, right? You're doing just the secret there because there's no reason to go do the other hiddens unless you really need them later for 5 hiddens. But doing Pianta obviously negates that value. A lot of time spent on episodes. That is the conundrum here. Obviously, yeah, hidden shines do not count towards 8 episodes, and that's going to be really important to try to make it work. But we'll see. Dex is getting some Delfino blues here in. I'm not sure. Did he get the bad kill?
It was a little slower than Deathlines. I don't think it was terrible, but this definitely sets Dex behind. I mean,
yeah,
the question is, if you're Dex, you think about doing kind of the split play and doing Bianco 15 and then waiting to see which of the other Bianco goals Deathline goes for. Because you could potentially go for 15 Bianco in 3. It's going to set you behind to one of hidden or 4 hoverless, but you'd be able to pick up the other.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Especially because you don't really care which one you get. Bianco for hoverless and Bianco hidden at both their merits and their value outside of the face value goal. One of them is an episode. There's an episode chance on the map, so not too bad. Unlock some extra blues for 20 Bianco blues if you're really feeling like it. Hidden shine counts for the hiddens as well. Also red coin shine faster, so you get to other stuff quickly. Yeah, I think you don't care really which one you get in this situation.
Yeah, you just can't lose
both of them.
Both of them, right? Especially because, like, okay, if you're Dex, you might win 20 Bianco blues too, but those extra 5 blues are slow. You know, I will say we said blues were not great. There is 13 Delfino with blue trades, and
fair.
Having blues is going to be decent for that. But Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is there are no goals where you need to rush blues, but that just means it's a card where you're really going to want to pick them up as you go, route them in without wasting too much time.
Yeah, I think I formulated it not correctly in a way. I don't think blues are particularly bad. They're just worse than a lot of other options on this card, right? At face value, they're not bad. It's just that you have this Bianco start, right? Maybe if you're not going for Pianta and you're doing that Delfino play, you can do some blues and Rico for 2 from 5, just to... You have time because you're doing Delfinos, right? You're going to be fast on your opponent. So you can just dip in Rico, do 2 episodes and for 2 from 5 and do some blues. But
Oh, I think Deathline is going for Bianco blues. So we will see what Dex does, because this could be really unfortunate for Dex if he also goes for Bianco blues. But he is not. So Dex is going to have his choice of the hidden or Bianco 4 hoverless. Deathline should be able to have his pick of the other one, unless these 15 Bianco blues go really slowly.
yeah, and the thing is, I think I like an approach where you split play here, right? There's just definitely a lot of merit because you can get some blues early on. But the problem is, you need to be confident in yourself, because if your opponent also split plays and it's faster than you, right? You have to have a good... You have to have a good call making ability, right? You need to just think, okay, am I gonna do the full 15 blues? Am I gonna just do some blues and then do stages? Am I gonna delay anything, right? Obviously, delaying being
Yeah.
really risky here, but it could also have great rewards, because if you delay correctly, you could get those like 3 or 4 goals as well. Like, that's the only way you are able to get everything, if you delay something in the correct way. But you could also lose like 1 or 2 goals, and then, well, that's not great, right? So yeah, I think
Yeah.
Deathline going for the full 15 here.
Looks like Dex is going to do Bianco 4 hoverless. So Deathline could lose both of them. Interestingly, though, Dex is also grabbing a couple blues here. But this is going to be Deathline's 15th. And the nice thing about the split play for Deathline is it's definitely going to dissuade Dex from going for 20 Bianco.
Yeah, but the thing is, now if you're Dex, you delay for hoverless, right? Like,
yeah, I think you try and race for Bianco hidden and hope you're going to be able to win it.
that's not gonna help, I'm afraid.
Because the worst case, I mean, well, I guess the worst case is you split them.
Oh, that's pretty huge. Dex takes the
Yeah.
fall. Yeah, that means that Dex is not gonna be able to even with a delay, unless the delay is very risky. Dex is not gonna be able to take the safe. And then I think here Dex having a bit of nerves, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I think at this point, if you're Deathline, I don't know what you think here. Do you think you sniped to 15 Bianco? Because Dex should have a click at this point.
But Dex also, we lost Dex's feed.
Yeah, and Deathline is going for hoverless. Still is going to be able to win Bianco hidden if Dex doesn't delay it. Yeah, there's the click. Deathline sees it and immediately goes for Bianco hidden. So, yeah, I mean, the 15 Bianco blues play, I think someone in chat said it. I actually think it was a pretty good call.
Should we ask for a pause here?
I think we'll leave it up to Ramato.
Okay.
I think it's really up to Restreamer here. Yeah, it's tough because we don't know. Yeah, and unless Deathline dies here, now. Dex is going to lose to Bianco Hidden. I still think it's a shine Dex needs to go for because it's a hidden, it's a red, it's not an episode, but
Silver lining is it's still a pretty good shine, right? To have
right.
It's not wasted value on this card, but yeah, definitely losing this by those few seconds definitely hurts, right? Because you're like, if you didn't make those mistakes, you would have gotten it, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, now I imagine we're going to see them both go towards Pianta.
DL is
Right.
opening Rico here, or no? This is DL
No.
is doing Underbell.
This could just be.
For 5
I
shines.
think he needs the
Gelato.
shine to get Gelato. Yeah.
I'm gonna see a Gelato opening into Pianta. That DL here getting a bit trolled by the coconut. And next is opening Rico.
Yeah, I mean, Rico is, probably going to win Dex episodes here. So
Dex already
solid.
has the advantage, I think. I'm not sure what he wants from Rico.
No.
Unless he
Yeah,
wants
I mean,
multi, then that's it.
2 from 5 is not terrible. I just don't know, like, there are things you can do. You can do 1 through 4 to get 8 episode progress, and you have 2 hiddens 1 level and quick hiddens, but right, like if you're doing episodes, Pianta is faster. There's 4 Pianta shines on the card. There's Pianta hidden. Yeah, and Dex not even going into Rico. Dex is just opening Gelato now.
I'm wondering, is it just because Dex just wants to wait something out, right? Because Dex might be thinking, okay, like let's see if I see any other thing. Let's see if I see a 20 Bianco blues. Let's see if I see a free secret look. Like I don't know, like something. Free secret would be hard, I get, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess my one counterpoint to that is Dex really going to want to waste the time on 20 Bianco blues, for instance, with the value in other places?
Progress, but I mean, you don't want to do 20 Bianco blues right now, right? But the thing is, like DL has no idea on Dex's progress on blues in Bianco, right? Which could actually be pretty interesting later on, because Dex could try to steal 20 Bianco, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see. Dex is also entering Gelato now. Looks like he's gonna be going for Gelato 1. He's trying to get a secret edge, also some blues.
Yeah, I think just routing in these 2 that are right there probably will get the enemy as well. Yeah, I mean, if Dex went from here into Pianta, I think that would be a good play. Unfortunately, if it's a 2 hiddens and Gelato race, Dex is behind now from just opening Rico. And the interesting thing on this card too is, 3 secrets is probably going to be Pinna 2 here.
Or Pianta 5.
Yeah, or Pianta 5. Like, it's not going to be Serena, because Serena doesn't have a lot of value on this card. Rico 4 is not.
You can remove a lot of value. You can remove a lot of from that sentence. Serena doesn't have value on this card. Full stop.
True.
It's like negative value. If you go there, you lose the game. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dex is going to Pianta or finishing off Delfino's. Um,
I don't know. I really okay. If Dex is gonna go for Pianta now, I like it. I really not sure how I feel about Dex's routing blues like here and there, because with this card you have so much value early on. Like there is like, or rather, there is so much pressure to get those early on goals, like 8 episodes, free secrets. You want to get the Tuchilato hidden, soul the Bianco stuff. That stopping to collect blues if it's not for a goal feels like a waste of time. I know it's in your face, but it's gonna be in your face if you need to re-enter the level later, right? You have a reason to re-enter Bianco later, maybe for the 20. You have reason to re-enter Gelato later, maybe if you want, maybe for 5 Gelato Shines. You have reason to re-enter Pianta later for the hidden in 5, for Pianta Shadowmars. So I don't know how I feel about collecting blues right now. Feels like you can better spend that time just doing goals, you know what I mean? I understand.
yeah, I don't think Dex is stopped for any super slow blues, but
Oh, but even then, it's like...
the Rico unlock,
Yeah, that too.
I think Dex had the idea of, I want to get Rico and Gelato both unlocked and then just go to Pianta and try and get the lead into Pinna, which, I think Dex does have a shine lead right now. Oh no.
No, he doesn't.
Nope. Deathline needs to unlock Rico and either get 2 blue or a shine and a blue trade, and he's into Pinna. Yeah, so the relatively good news here is Pinna's not overpowered, but this would be a pretty easy way for Deathline to get 3 secrets. It's going to be Deathline's 4th hidden.
Now, who wins there, though? Like, who wins this because Pianta 5 is pretty slow, right? But the shines leading up to them, especially with the fact you don't have to do free damage lists, are pretty fast. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. 3 secrets might be Dex's still. But
what if the Rico opening costs him that 3 secrets? That would be really huge.
Cost Dex 3 secrets?
Yeah, because it's not gonna be very, very close. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be not close. It's gonna be pretty close for that goal. And now, okay, Dex.
Yeah, it's
the race here.
I think Deathline might be slightly ahead, but it's not huge, right? Deathline has to do Mecha. Dex has to do Pianta 3 and 4. Pianta 5 is lower secret. But Deathline also either needs to do the cutscene or honey skip, and that is slow.
Yeah, besides, it's not like Mecha is particularly fast, is it? It's not the slowest shine, but it takes some time. Dex leaves...
but Dex is also just trying to get to Pinna. So only did 2 in Pianta.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm struggling to understand Dex's reasoning here. I don't know. I feel like he's playing a bit of a scatterbrain route. Like having a bit of trouble figuring out what he wants to do. And that can really cost you, because the Deathline clearly has a plan here, and he's executing on it fairly well so far. He has the lead. He has been able to secure 3 pretty strong goals early on, as a definite advantage to one other of these goals. And now we'll get 3 secrets. So things are looking pretty good for him.
Yeah, and Deathline also will have 4 hiddens after the Pinna hidden. Dex... Well, no, Deathline 2 will be ahead, I think, in the 2 from 5 race, although not by much. Because Dex has 2 in Pianta, 2 in Bianco, 1 in Gelato. And I guess Dex is ahead by 1 shine on that, but it's not huge.
Right, now we have 2 for 5 stakes going on, and 2 for 5, we can talk about this for a bit, I think, since we have, like, now Dex entering Pina,
Oh,
and deathline doing a very fun shine. 2 from
yeah.
5 is such, and goals similarly to 2 from 5, so 3 from 4. All of these kinds of goals, right, are extremely hard to route around because it's hard to weigh them correctly, right? Because sometimes you have players ignoring them, right, and not planning accordingly to the goal, and it ends up costing them a lot because, well, they end up losing games that they shouldn't lose because they don't just shift around a couple of shines to accommodate for the goal. But then you have other situations in which players prioritize them too much and end up, well, yeah, congratulations, you've got 2 from 5, but then you lost 3 other goals just to get 2 from 5, right? So it is a very, very hard category of goals to route in a card. It's hard to give them the correct weight. And I think this is where, in this situation, Dex is maybe trying to prioritize a bit too much 2 from 5, right? But maybe doesn't see the bigger picture, right? Doesn't see that with Pianta, the Pianta could have contested the 3 secrets. Also, I mean, we have the benefit of being able to watch low players, so definitely a lot of information there.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we might see Deathline do after Pinna 2 and 2R is, try and go into Rico, get 2 shines and potentially a third, get the hidden for 5 hiddens, and route in some blues there, and then just get a lot of Delfinos to try and win Tanoki.
Yeah, which would be a pretty good play. It would have Bianco, Gelato, Pinna, Rico. Maybe even Pianta at that point, honestly. It's 2 Pianta shines. Not too low. Could try to secure the 2 from 5. It's not much lower than the 8 than 2 Delfino shines, right? You do get some blues in Pianta 1 and 2, maybe, if you're that way inclined. So Deathline has options, and I think Dex seeing the free secret shines click now is a bit at a loss. Because due to the delays and then missing Tawny skip as well, well, he's not going to be able to even get Pinna hidden, right? So not able to contest anything. It's definitely not the greatest position to be in.
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point, Dex, it's hard. Dex doesn't know for sure that that's Pinna.
You will know soon enough.
But I kind of feel like for Dex, if you lose the Pianta value, it's going to be pretty brutal for you. Yeah, and Dex is going back to Pianta, it looks like.
Okay, I think he's reading that as Pinna, which would be correct.
Yeah, I don't think it could be anything other than like Serena 2 at this point, because it's probably not Rico after the 2 Gelato hiddens. So yeah, Dex is making the right read.
Bianco 6 is the only other option. But that wouldn't be, that you would have seen, like, I mean, it could be delaying 20 Bianco blues, right? But why would you do that on this card? It's absolutely garbage. So that's the only other plausible option, but it's plausible if you're playing against a player that doesn't know what they're doing. And I think we're a bit beyond that stage here, so yeah, Pin is the only reasonable read.
Yeah, Dex is gonna win 8 episodes here with Pianta 3.
Wait, he has 3 from Bianco. He has
1 from Gelato, 1 from Pinna, and this will be 3 in Pianta.
Yeah, that would be correct. What's DL's situation there? Because DL has... No, DL is way behind on that.
DL only has 5 at this point.
Yeah,
Deathline did several hiddens at this point.
Interestingly, DL you're proceeding in Pinna for Pinna free, right? I mean, it's a red coin.
And gives you slight lead to a Yoshi unlock for, if you need Delfino Rocket.
So an extra couple of easy blues on the way for the shine, right? So like, it's not the worst pick. It's still pretty consistent. Like, DL here is routing fairly solidly. Like, I see maybe a couple of situations where I would have been like, yeah, I think I would prefer you do something else, right? But it's not like, yeah, this just makes no sense. It's more like, yeah, I would have done something differently, but I see you, right? I see the values. I see why you're doing this. It's not like I'm confused by it. So
yeah, I think also, I mean, I don't think Dex has necessarily made bad calls, but unfortunately has just had some gameplay things letting him down. And like now,
Fruit Lady.
Dex is doing Fruit Ladies to try and finish off 15 Delfino Blues. I don't know how many Delfinos Dex has in total, but I know you've got to do at least one Fruit Lady, I think, to get 15.
Yeah, I don't know. You did mention, right? Like Dex didn't do anything per se wrong. I'm gonna like I don't think he's done anything majorly wrong, but I think leaving Pianta was a mistake. Like was a straight up mistake. You cannot justify going to pin at that point, thinking that you're gonna win it when your opponent is clicking 2 gelato shines, right? It's like no, these are not slow shines. There's no way you're catching up that much. I understand the reason why the call was made, but I don't think it was a smart call. Let's put it that way. There's a universe in which it worked, but yeah. But that said, as for the rest, I think Dex is yeah. We did mention right at the start you need to have what's going to be more reliable, like gameplay execution or routing. And so far, I think DL is answering right. Yeah, routing. Yeah, I'm vibing. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Deathline too, like, you have no info on where Dex has been at this point, other than Bianco and you've seen 8 episodes, which I feel like just has to be hard, like, having no info.
Yeah, you have to assume some snipes at this point, which should be partially correct, I guess. You have no idea that there's Pianta in there.
Yeah, we see Dex is now going for 20 Bianco Blues, which, you know,
Alright.
it'll be a steal from Deathline, but it's definitely just going to slow Dex down a fair amount.
I'm wondering, because I think I would love this call more if he hadn't done Bianco Hidden yet, right? Because he finished 20 Bianco Blues to enter in Bianco Free Reds instead of exiting area. But yeah, I did mention that there would be the chance that he was going to try to steal this, so makes sense. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it is also going to get Dex. How many? Dex traded 20 blues.
They
So
both
this,
traded 20.
yeah,
We're kind of in a 45 race, soft 45 race at least.
yeah, I think. I mean, if Deathline prioritizes this, Deathline will win just by virtue of
Existing in
Rico Blues being faster. That said, Deathline has gotten most of the fast Rico Blues at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna be able to finish 45 here, right? Like, it might be able to, but hey, it's. Oh, Dex takes the plunge.
Yeah, I mean, I think Deathline maybe will not get all of them here because Deathline's going to want to do Rico 2, can get 2 there. But yeah, I mean, Deathline does have fast Delfino Blues that he can get in the middle of this, and get the 2 on the way to Rico 2. Deathline didn't get the Sewer Blues, hasn't gotten all the Delfino M's.
It's still gonna be pretty interesting. I think Dex has something that he could do here. But he has to kind of get a move on it. Going back to the hover nozzle here. Yep, I think it's a full-flown 45 race now.
Yep.
Full-fledged, full whatever.
Yeah, I think Deathline's going to win this just because Deathline has some faster Delfino Blues. If Deathline is really prioritizing it.
I mean, I think Deathline has to prioritize it just for virtue of, okay, I don't see Dex having anything that you must have done something, right? You must have had at least some blues at this point, if I haven't seen that nothing click.
Yeah, actually, Dex may have this now. Yeah, Dex will get this.
Right, and this is actually a pretty decent play for Dex, right? Because you have 45 delaying it. Okay, probably wants
Oh,
to hide the fact he's in Bianco.
yeah. If he delays this, though, until he gets all 20 Bianco blues,
I think he's very close now, though. I don't think
he
it's...
is. He has 2 more to get. Deathline also is just going to need 2 more.
Okay, I think Dex should
I
still have
think,
this, but
yeah.
very close. I don't agree with the 45 delay, because there's no way your opponent has time to react, right? 21, lol.
Yeah, and there's the double click. So Deathline's a little sad, but
Yeah. So again,
Deathline does have some more info at least on where Dex is. So
okay, I actually like this play from Dex. Now going back to Pianta, I think Dex is making correct calls now. I think this is not too bad at the moment. Again, I would have preferred to see the 45 clicked immediately because you're so close to 20 Bianco. Your opponent, there's no way your opponent has enough time to react going to Bianco and get 5 extra blues, right? So you might as well click 45 and then click 20 Bianco blues later. But outside of that, cool steal. Definitely puts Dex back on the map. Deathline still has the advantage at the moment because Deathline still has, well, is still in the race for 70 for 1. They're both in the race for 13 for Delfino.
yeah, they both only have 1 Delfino shine at this point, plus
Yeah.
2 trades.
Yeah, but
You know, it'd
Deathline
be
needs ahead to hiddens, ahead to reds, so.
yeah. I mean, I would I feel like if you're Deathline, you want to get Rico 2 hidden, and then probably try and just get Delfinos into Noki, and
Right,
try
there's not
and
too
win
many other
the
plays.
16 Noki blues.
Alright, somewhere along those lines, you probably want to do Yoshi. Yeah, you want to do Pinna 4. Gives you some extra options for Delfinos, right? Opens up the Delfino Rocket later on. So, I think it's
Yeah,
pretty
this
okay.
is now 2 from 4 for Deathline. Yeah, and Dex is doing Delfinos now. Deathline does have a slight shine lean into Noki, but this is going to give Dex the Delfinos lead.
Oh, Deathline trading only 2 here. I don't know. Deathline doesn't have 10 many Delfino Blues left though, so I understand that. Still, kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, Deathline is now up 1 shine into Noki. Question is, do you do 2 fast Delfinos or do you do 1 fast one? And Goldbird, I feel like you kind of want to do Goldbird, but
Yeah, you want to greed here. You kind of have to, by virtue of Goldbirds being pretty good. Now
yeah, I
don't
think
think Deathline.
Pachinko would have been a good call too, just because Pachinko would be 5 reds.
Yeah, I don't think Deathline wants to do Rico 2 hidden though, because simply, I mean, you finish 5 hidden with Goldberg, right? I'll discard.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I didn't think about that, but you're right. Yeah, I mean, Dex is now getting a couple fast blues and Gelato Sunshine. We'll be able to train to Noki. Will not have the lead to Goldbirds.
But he has the lead for 16 Noki Blues. And I mean, at this point, right, 16 Noki Blues gets you very close to 70, right? Helps with the trades, so not too shabby. Only gets 1 blue though. So still, I mean, 1 blue could finish in Delfino, I guess. Still hasn't done 15 from Delfino, right? So
No, hasn't finished that off yet. Yeah, now Dex is racing Goldbird and going to lose that. Dex may still have a lead to 16 Noki, because we'll probably be in Noki 1 when Deathline clicks Goldbirds. Although, actually, maybe not, because Dex is also going to have to trade.
trade and to collect one blue coin, technically speaking. So yeah, no, I think deathline is placing himself in a decent position. I think if you're deathline, you also kind of want 2 for 5, so you want to do Goldbird and then Noki 1 relatively fast.
Yeah, you're gonna probably finish off 16 Noki Blues with Cannon Mole, because that'll be 2 from 5.
Yeah. Or
Dex, what's Dex's 2 from 5? Dex has Gelato, Pianta, Bianco. I think that's it. Yeah.
yeah, so deathline also will get 2 for 5. Overall, pretty decent position. For
Yeah, I
DL
didn't
here.
see how many Delfino Blues Dex out on the Z menu. But yeah, Deathline is stopping for some Noki Blues here. But again, Dex needing to grab one more blue to finish off. I think to finish off 15 Delfinos.
And the trade.
Deathline. There we go. Okay, only just getting those 2 Nokis.
Okay, greening a bit here. I mean, it's not like he's making the wrong call, right? Like he technically has the room, so it's a bit like when you take, when you do something questionable and somebody's like, yeah, I mean, it worked out, so you can't really criticize, right? But right.
Yeah, and I mean, Deathline now will have a lead to 16 Noki Blues, even though Dex is entering just because Deathline did grab a few there.
Right, now the question for Deathline is, do you go full beans on them, or do you want to do some on the way to Noki, like Noki 1, and then do some on the way to Noki 2, which you could be tempted into doing, right? But it's probably not the correct choice here.
Yeah,
The
Deathline's just grabbing some of these on the left side and then is going to go finish off Cannon Moles and grab the final ones of the 16, which is going to work out pretty well.
Yep. Now, if you're Dex, you could also try to do the reverse play, as in like you do only 4 blues here, like 3 or 4 blues here, like with the rocket. That's ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for Dex, though, is the split play
We'll lose anyways. So.
will lose because Dex really doesn't have 2 from 5 progress at this point.
Yeah, I guess if you're losing a goal anyways, it's better to lose on a split play than on a full beans play, if you know what I mean. It feels even worse if you're really going hard for a goal and you lose it than if you were just trying like not too hard.
Yeah, I just don't know that there's not a good way to lose this goal if you're Dex.
Okay, Dex, what are you doing? Looks like Dex changed his mind mid-flight to go full beans for the 16 Noki Blues, which unfortunately will end up not being the correct choice, I feel.
Yeah, Dex is also going to need to be kind of careful here. I'm kind of worried Dex is going to die here in the water.
Yeah, some creative movement. Don't doubt the man. Look at this. Pretty decently timed jumps out of the water.
Yeah, it was close.
Fortunately, none of this is gonna matter because DL should still win this goal.
Yeah, and hopefully Deathline doesn't delay it.
No, Dex wouldn't be too far from it, I feel. Like, I mean, still has quite a ways to go, but not the worst attempt at it.
Yeah, I assume he's going to go get these 2. Oh no, he's going to go get the rocket and get those 2 blues, which definitely makes more sense than the the Noki 2 earn blues.
I think we lost Dex again. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little choppy. Yep, and there's Deathline clicking 16 Noki blues, is going to get 2 from 5 here. It's going to put Deathline up with a pretty good 9-5 lead.
And the thing is Dex, what do you do now? Do you still want to finish one, or you want just to get out with Noki Bird?
Yeah, I mean, Dex has to at least get some blues here, but I think at this point, Dex probably needs to contest Delfino's, and that's going to be a race. They are both tied, I think, at 3 Delfinos. Dex will have the lead to 13. But Deathline getting one of those 2, I think he'll be pretty happy with that.
Okay, now there's a legitimate question, like what's Deathline's win con, right? Because Delfino Rocket, Deathline has a pretty solid hold on it. Dex has only pin up 1.
So 5 reds is definitely in the win con. Because Deathline needs 1 more red.
Now DL going for Pianta. Okay. This is pretty risky, but also pretty interesting, right? Because if DL, that's probably coming out of left field if you're Dex, right? You don't see DL going to Pianta to try to contest.
That is certainly true. Yeah.
Especially if it's a read of Dex starting Delfinos now, which if it is, kudos to DL because that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, Deathline is this is 65 blues actually, because Deathline traded 40, so this is just a 70 blues play.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it's fair. Could be like the Pianta could be like a added value to this 70 blue play, or it could be just the 70 blue being an added value of going to Pianta. We'll see like what DL does after this.
But yeah, I think DL just wanted 5 quick blues. Because that's 70. And that's the goal Dex definitely would have wanted. So Dex is now actually ahead to 8 Delfinos, but Deathline actually is ahead to 13. I didn't realize that Deathline actually had more blues than Dex. Dex is contesting Delfino reds. Deathline, I mean, if Deathline's not careful, Deathline could lose 5 reds.
What's the red status? DL as
has 4.
Yeah.
It's Bianco 3R, Gelato 1R, Pinna 2R,
and Pinna 3.
And Pianta, yeah, Pinna 3. So
could easily do Bianco 4. So
I hope Deathline goes and does Pachinko here.
And that's not the case.
Yeah, because this is Dex's. I think this is Dex's fourth red. I think Dex has Bianco 4, Bianco 3R.
Pachinko and Lilipad?
Yeah. Now, that means Dex is going to have to do Grass Pipe still.
Which not the fastest shine in the of the bunch, let's put it that way. But I mean, also as Johto 1 Red's open, I know it's not great, but for a fast one, I guess.
Yeah, if Deathline goes and does Pachinko now, Deathline will win 5 reds, but is doing box game 2. Still, I don't think it's not going to kill Deathline to lose 5 reds.
No, but it definitely. I mean, it's one of those situations where you don't really want your opponent. when you are in this position in a game, it's a skill. Closing out games is a legitimately important part because a lot of emphasis, for instance, is placed in the starting of the game, right? So how do you not follow your opponent? How do you try to read your opponent at the start? But reading at the end is just as important, and closing out games is an important skill to have. So I feel
Yeah,
like
and Dex is now stopping the Delfino Shines to finish off 15 Delfino Blues. I think Dex was at 12 before this.
oh, like both fruit. Oh, this is gonna. Oh no, Dax, what are you doing? Your opponent has clicked 70 blues. Like they're not gonna try to steal 15 Delfino. It's terrible. Like I don't know, man. That's a man moment.
It's a hard call because maybe those are
Some Delfinos, yeah.
some
It's
Delfino Blues, but yeah, I mean
yeah, it's there.
now Deathline has many options. I mean, Reds and 8 Delfinos is going to win. If Deathline does Pachinko here, I think
That's
this
not
is
red.
Deathline's 6th Delfino, physical Delfino. But yeah, I
Line up
mean,
the Durians. Oh no, Dex. Oh no, Dex. This is kind of tragic, honestly. Dex has been sniped quite a bit in this match.
yeah, and just had like some unfortunate gameplay issues that I think at the start just set him back enough that it was harder for Dex to come back. Right? Like all the struggles with Bianco 4 especially just hurt, and like yeah, there's 5 reds from Deathline, and I mean even if Deathline loses 8 Delfinos, Deathline can just do Pinafore and Delfino Rocket
yeah. So
right now.
that's wraps here. So honestly, pretty strong performance from Deathline here. That's next. I don't think there have been any major mistakes in routing and or gameplay. So pretty solid here.
Yeah, Deathline I think had a really good route. Dex is now struggling to figure out what to do.
Or giving up could also be the case. But it's
Yeah.
not going to be for long.
Well, and there's 8 Delfino Shines, so that is the match. So Deathline wins and moves on to the semifinals for Division 2.
They have to be picked by someone as their opponent. Hello, Dex.
Hello.
GG's.
I'm surprised. I don't know. Deathline was just, how did he have 70 blues and like everything?
Hello.
Hello, Deathline.
Congrats, Deathline.
And Dex, to answer to your question, I was saying right before you entered, the Deathline had a pretty strong game. I don't think there have been any major mistakes and pretty solid routing, so pretty good performance.
I made like one major routing mistake in my mind.
Okay, well,
What do you think that was?
45 totals. I didn't pick up any blues in Pinna 3 because I didn't know what Dex was doing. I had no idea if he was really just doing episodes or if he was like grinding out blues. I didn't want to like commit blues in Pinna, but I probably should have picked up more in Pinna. I only picked up like 2 or 3. If I did that, I would have had 45 totals in Rico. I wouldn't have to run around Delfino for 45 totals.
Look, I understand that, but I feel on this card, blues were a bit of an enigma because as
Oh, they
I
weren't
was saying,
great.
no, as I was thinking, like the blues are good, but there's also a lot of other stuff that is relatively good that you can do in the same at the same time. So it's kind of hard to okay, how much do you invest in blues, right? Because if your opponent gets everything, that's a lot of good synergy. But if you end up splitting it, that's not really worth the time, you know. So it was a bit weird, but I felt it was okay. It was an okay call to to delay it
Yeah,
for
I mean,
5.
it ended up fine, but I just wish I picked up a couple more than I did in Pinna. I really did just like avoid everything unless it was like right there. Like I picked up the bird and then the one in the cage, but if I just picked up like 2 or 3 more, I wouldn't have had to do some of those slower Delfino ones, and I could have just finished Enrico, and I would have been happy. But
Right.
oh well.
Oh, Romano's mentioning the fact that you delayed Pachinko for quite a bit, where it's probably a mistake because
I
Dex
didn't
was
know if
gonna.
Dex was ever going to do 5 reds with 4 Piana. Once 4 Piana
Was
got collected, I was just like, I'm gonna push that off forever.
Yeah, Dex. If Dex had gone to Grass Pipe, Dex probably would have sniped that
yeah.
instead of finishing off 15 Delfino Blues at the end.
I still felt fine if I lost one of those goals at the end.
Yeah,
Like I
you were in
needed one,
a yeah.
I needed 2 of the 3. I felt pretty okay with Delfino Rocket and Eel, but I still would have preferred to not have to do Yoshi into Delfino Rocket. So, but Eel was going to always be my like, end game win con once I managed to win Noki somehow. I really didn't
Besides,
think I was
there's
going to
So
always
wait, hold up. Where was your 2 from 5?
win. Bianco, Gelato, Rico, Pinna, Noki.
Oh, you had Rico.
besides like again, there's always the Rico hundreds as well for a win con late
That's
game
true.
that you can. Um, in general, okay, I want to ask some questions to Dex because obviously Dex had a bit of a struggle early on during Bianco 4 Hoverless, which costed him Bianco Hidden. I think probably kicking himself a bit for that. I'm guessing we can chalk that down to nerves, right? Because we were talking at the beginning, like game 3, handling the clutch and knowing.
Yeah. I was doing like a 10 shines, no shines one earlier, and I just wasn't playing amazing either then, so I don't know.
You have these days. I mean, not you in particular, but I mean, it can happen that you have a day where it's just not really clicking, you know. Um, but when it comes to routing, right? Because I felt like going to Pianta was a cool call. You could have contested free secrets with Pianta 5, and that's also 8
Could have.
episodes. Why did you decide to go to Pinna after that? Like, you did Pianta 1 and 2 and then decided to go to Pinna? Because obviously you've seen your opponent get a lot of clicks, get to Gelato Hidden, so you know your opponent's probably you're also going for an early Pinna with Pinna Hidden, right? So I didn't really
Mm.
understand the going away from Pianta call because that was in my eyes at least the best way to challenge Pinna because you can get the
Yeah,
free.
I didn't think of that. I just thought of Pinna 2 as like the only real secret I could do, and I didn't think like as did you unlock Rico before Gelato
No.
Deathline?
What I did was I
No.
did Bianca 15 and 3. I started doing hoverless in case you were doing 20 and then you were gonna go to hidden, but you clicked hoverless when I was like the 4th coin, so I immediately just dropped that and went to do the hidden, did the gelato hiddens, had 20 blues, opened Rico, traded in to Pinna.
Yeah. So I thought I don't know. I thought it would have been a little closer, but as soon as I missed Honey Skip, I was like, I don't know. Because I don't know, I was finishing Pianta 2 or starting Pianta 2 when Deathline clicked 2 Gelato Hiddens. I thought he'd go do the Rico plant. I could just leave and trade in, and then I'd be in Pinna.
Yeah, I understand the logic there. Right. I don't know. I just saw the Pianta play early on because I mean neither of you did too much Pianta. I thought there was some merit in trying for 8 episode shines for secrets, for Pianta shines after Bianco. You know, with with only Gelato 1 as your third secret because
Yeah,
obviously
I
yeah. Sorry.
not to cut you off. I saw the Pianta play, but I didn't like it.
Okay.
Just in my
Yeah. I
opinion.
mean,
I saw it. I was like, only because I lost. I didn't win Bianca for Harvest, so I did the hidden, so which isn't an episode shine. So I was already down on episode shine. So I was like, I don't care if I don't win it at this point. It's if I do win it somehow, it's an extra goal for me. But I wasn't planning on winning that after I lost Bianca for Harvest, so I kind of threw away the Bianca plan and just rushed Pinna because I thought if I could win 3 secrets and Pinna hiddens, it would set me up really nicely for hiddens reds in the late game,
yeah.
which
No,
it did.
definitely. Don't get me wrong. Like Pinna was a strong option. I just felt like that the Pianta play was kind of a safe way to not race to Pinna and lose Pinna, right? Because if you race to if both players race to Pinna, one of them loses Pinna. Well, I mean, this is the game that ended up unfolding, right? So
Yep.
you get what I mean. A Pianta gives you it gives you a fighting chance if the other player goes Pinna, right? So maybe that's I'm the slower player. I need to kind of maneuver around that mindset that was that did this, but yeah, I don't think. Wait, this see if there's anything
Dex,
they.
did you like never go to Noki, or did it just like snipe you to all those goals?
Hmm?
Did you go to Noki ever, or did I just like snipe
Yeah,
you?
I got. You clicked Goldbird when I was entering Noki 1, and then I had like 15 blue coins.
Damn. Okay. I wasn't really a big fan of my like split 16 and Goldbird play either, but I really had no
It
clue
worked out.
what Dex was gonna do. So I ended up doing it. I probably should have picked up more of the blues on the left side, then got the Goldbird, and then just entered one and got the coins on the cliff. And that probably would
Yeah,
have been better, but I had no idea and I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want to lose
Yeah,
either of
that
those
could have
goals.
that could have cost you both of them.
It could have cost me both of them, but it didn't. So
yeah. It's kind of a situation where I think if you're in that specific if you're at that specific scenario, you do not want to split it. You either don't get any blues or like get like the two
I
blues,
probably didn't need the Goldberg goal,
or
but I felt
or
better
you
with
get
it.
yeah. So you don't get any, or you get all of them, right? Or maybe you get just the both ones, and then you go to the Goldberg, So it's I don't know. It is, but again, if you're in that moment, it end up working out. So no big issue there. Um, yeah, and that was just a very solid game, honestly. Uh, right, Dex. One close thing. Since 45 was close, and I think you could probably understand that it was very close, anyways. Like
I
you
was 4 seconds away from that
yeah,
coin.
yeah. Um, you delayed 45 to click it together with 20 Bianco. Did you think it was that close, or you thought that you had it anyway, so you just wanted to click them together?
I thought it might be somewhat close, but not 4 seconds close. So it's just like,
Okay,
I'll click them together.
right. I understand that because I was thinking, right, maybe you were delaying 45 to not give away the fact that you were trying for 20 Bianco Blues, but you were so close to 20 anyways that even if you clicked 45 once you got them, your like DL wouldn't have been able to just go to Bianco and finish the other 5, right? So you could have just clicked 45 and then do the other remaining 20 seconds and then click 20 Bianco Blues as well, just to be a bit more safe. Again, these are just like minor things. Just in case you ever watch the match, you probably see it as well.
Ugh.
But
I'm
yeah,
glad Dex did 20 Bianca Blues because I was never going to do that goal unless it was 12-12 and I had to.
I was just like, where's a place that I can get blue coin totals and other
other progress.
goals?
Yeah.
like oh, Bianco is a thing.
Yeah.
I did 15. I was like, I'm never coming back here for 20. I don't want it. I want 15 and one of the shine goals. And I got my wish. So yeah,
Yeah, it worked
GG.
out. So
Alright. Yeah, no, go Golden Devil.
I was gonna
You
say,
have 3 men.
I think the next match is in about 20 minutes here. It is Bread Ghost vs Denial, game 2. So stick around for more bingo.